I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. Politics is a very, very funny game. No, only permanent interest, no permanent friends. And it is futile to expend your energies on politicians. Number two, international politics is extremely very complex, and the permanent interests of any nation should be their own interest. At one time, Nigeria made Africa the centerpiece of their foreign policy, and we were in support of liberation movements around Africa. Very good. We brought people from South Africa, Zimbabwe, different nations, gave them scholarships to school in Nigeria. Very good. We were in Liberia, we were in Sierra Leone. Very good. However, we failed to develop interest in our own country and develop our country. And even our politicians, we steal from our nation and go invest in other nations. There's nothing wrong in investing in another nation as a private individual, but don't steal. That's why I commend Dangote a lot, Aliko Dangote, for investing in Nigeria. We bring bandits from other nations into our country to unseat a sitting president, and now we are finding it difficult to expel those bandits. It's a time for serious reflection on the need to make Nigeria work, or let's say, make Nigeria great again. Make America great again. Make Nigeria great again. Okay. So, why am I going through this farrago of thoughts? The Donald Trump tweet, Regina Daniels and Ned Nwoko, Regina Daniels, Ned Nwoko, Wike, and Yerima, and God have removed our focus from something happening that happened in the United States. The current leader of Syria, or president of Syria, Ahmed al-Sharaa, visited the White House. It was not a state visit because I didn't see the usual motorcade. I think he passed through another entrance into the White House. You won't understand. You know, Syria had crisis, civil war for approximately 14 years now, after the 50 years of Assad and his father's rule that was very oppressive to other religious groups. However, this president visiting the White House was a former jihadist associated with Al-Qaeda. He was jailed at one time. At one time, a $10 million bounty was placed on him. And he was jailed at one time and released, went into violent military activities against the state of Syria, the nation of Syria, where he comes from. And many of us do not know what happened. The Assad regime collapsed, and Ahmed al-Sharia and his jihadist groups invaded Damascus and took over power. Prior to that time, Israel had activated their 10-year plan. When the war started, civil war started, they destroyed most of the armament that Syria had that could be used against Israel. They blew them up, precision strikes and all that. So, what is the point I'm trying to make? Al-Sharia, Ahmed al-Sharia, a former jihadist, was able to overthrow the central government of Assad, who fled to Russia. Today, this man who was declared wanted by the United States was sitting in the White House with Donald Trump. So, it is better that bandits don't overrun your country, because when they overrun your country, if other nations have interests in your country, they will welcome such people in future. And then guess what will happen to your nation? These nations don't have permanent friends or even permanent enemies. They have permanent interests. At one time, Saddam Hussein was propped up by the United States, by Donald Rumsfeld used to go there. And even the Taliban at one time were propped up by Western powers to drive Russia out of Afghanistan. Then they went again and fought Taliban. Then Taliban, they withdrew. Taliban is now in authority. Let's not take these bandits in Nigeria very casually, because anything can happen. The optics from the White House is quite educating, but at the same time frightening when you take nations like Nigeria and put them into you marry them with the situations that produce such optics. As I talk to you now, bandits, jihadists have surrounded Bamako, the capital of Mali. These things do not take too much effort. It's just when the morale of the army is down, low, and there's conspiracy, then several things can happen. I've always said that the Houthis were a band of rebels in the mountains of Yemen, but today they are in authority. So, what do? It is better to welcome Donald Trump to drive away the genocidal terrorists, Islamic radicals from the northern part of Nigeria and wherever they are. Let's welcome Donald Trump instead of some years from now, Donald Trump or the next American president or one American president welcome one criminal from the group terrorizing us now in the White House. Have a permanent interest for your nation. Our permanent interest now is to have security in our country and let democracy flourish. Anywhere these bandits have had a foothold is where democracy is not allowed to flourish. Let's equip our military. Let's encourage them Sack all the repentant Boko Haram people you mixed with our gallant soldiers. And let's be more strategic. I remain Dr. Charles Apoki. God bless you.